Now, look, I think Jericho is a top 3 small wrestler of all time, next to Shawn Michaels and Dominic's stepfather, Ray. Now, man, I've been holding this in for a couple of months now because I've been trying to observe and watch it to see, okay, will this get better? But when it comes to the Jericho Appreciation Society, I think this worst era, the worst run of Chris Jericho's great career, it's like this group is not over, and here's why. They don't have any heat. Not the kind of heat that I'm looking for. They have no heat. Because that dumb audience would never not like Jericho. It's like he's at the point of his career where the crowd will not boo him. Right? If he says something smart ass on the microphone, yeah, they will boo him. For like 5 seconds, then they will go back to kissing his ass and singing his theme song. He's kind of like Edge, right? Like there's no point of Edge going back to being a heel. There's no point. The crowd would never not like Edge at this point of his long career. It's like, what's the point? It's like, bruh, we've seen your best work as a heel. You are never going to top your feuds with John Cena. Those days are over. We've seen the best of you. You're never gonna top those days ever again. So you might as well stay as a face because we've never seen the best of Edge as a face. This current run might be one of his best runs as a face ever. So he's still growing as a face. So there's still room for improvement there. Same thing with Chris Jericho. It's like, bro, we've seen the best of Jericho as a heel. It's like those days are over. He's never gonna top his top-notch heel days as Y2J. Those days are over. The crowd will not hate him. It's like we have a mutual respect level for Jericho to the point where we would never hate him like they do with MJF because he's still young, he's still fresh. We haven't seen the best of him yet, so that's different. But when it comes to his current faction, it's like his current faction is just, to me, it's corny. At first, it was decent the first month, but now it's corny. And the fact that freaking the charisma vacuum cleaner, Dan Garcia, no longer wants to be a part of the group. Jericho, bruh, that's not doing you any favors when a charisma vacuum cleaner does not want to be a part of your faction. You're not doing yourself any favors. Okay, last time I checked, he's not Randy Orton. He's not Dave Bautista. This ain't freaking Evolution, bruh. So when a low mid-card guy like that wants to leave your group, it makes your group look like a damn jobber fest. That makes your group look very, very mid-card, right? It's like, just imagine Kyle O'Reilly in the middle of their run as the Undisputed Era. Just imagine if he said, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this group anymore. I feel like I'm above this group. Bruh, that would make them look bad, right? When a low mid-card guy doesn't want to be a part of your group, it'll be different if he was a top guy, right? Like a Orton, like a Dave Bautista, where those guys were on the cusp of being top guys, right? Orton was a world champion. Dave was on a come up as a future main eventer. So those guys had huge upside as top guys. So those guys leaving Triple H, that was a big deal. Because it felt like Triple H was kind of holding those guys back. Because those guys were going to be main eventers. So that's a totally different story. The charisma vacuum cleaner, freaking Dave Garcia? Nah, bro. If he doesn't want to be a part of your group, that's a bad thing. I don't know whose idea was it for him to rebel against that group, but It's not working. It makes that group look bad. Once I seen that Dan Garcia wanted out of Jericho's group, I said, wow, this makes Jericho look bad. This makes everybody in that group look like just job guys. It made the group look more like a damn joke. So whose idea was it for them to do that? It's like, this is wrestling 101, right? It's like when a guy wants to leave a group, when a guy wants to rebel, that means that guy has to be a top guy. He has to be a top guy, right? Okay. I've never seen Buff Bagwell leave the NWO and those guys make a big deal out of it. No, because he was a low mid-card guy. But if a guy like a Nash or a Scott Hall left, that's a big deal. When a Hulk Hogan leaves the NWO, that's a big deal, right? When a Triple H leaves DX, that's a big deal. When Shawn Michaels leaves DX, that's a big deal. When a mid-card guy like a Dan Garcia leaves a group, that's bad. That means that group sucks because he ain't that good. You see where I'm going with this? But overall, this has been Jericho's worst run, man. It's like, when he comes on TV, it's like, I'm sorry, for the first time ever, after 20-some years of watching this guy, I want to turn the channel. That's how insufferable this whole Jericho Appreciation Society has become. It's like, I put the TV on mute, or I play games and just not watch it. That little main event he had against Bandito, like, bruh, I didn't care about that match because I knew the outcome. But, oh yeah, and him as the Ring of Honor champion, it's like, bro, I don't care how big his name is. That's awkward. Him as a Ring of Honor champion is very, very awkward. Based on his over-the-top character, right? He has a very over-the-top character, which does not fit that belt, right? Like, I can't imagine Tony D'Angelo being a Ring of Honor champion. It's like, his gimmick does not fit that belt and the history of that belt. I feel like it makes that belt look bad in hindsight because it feels like Tony Khan is desperate to make that belt relevant, so he put it on Chris Jericho. But Jericho right now, he's a joke character. He's a joke gimmick to me. This is a bad run for Chris Jericho, man. It's like everything he's doing, it just feels forced, cringe. It's like, okay, we get it. You are trying to be a parody of a WWF group. Okay, we get it. But it's old now. It's like, okay, we get it. You are calling the AEW crowd the AEW Galaxy, right? As a parody of the WWF universe. But here's why it's no longer funny. Ever since Triple H has been in charge, last time I checked, they no longer say the WWF universe. They say fans. They say fans now. They say crowd. They don't say universe. So where are you going with this? They have to stop saying galaxy because, I mean, there's no joke to it now. There's no more joking. They don't say the WWF universe anymore, so it's not funny. But just overall, like the past couple of months, man, just his group, it's cringe on a high level. That one chick, what's her name? Anna J. I mean, her promos are just very forced and uncomfortable and very cringe. And the only reason that Sammy G is in that group the reason he's in that group was to restore his image. Because before that, he was being booed out the building. So just overall, this group feels forced. It's crazy. Why is Dan Garcia trying to lead that group? In my opinion, I feel like Sammy G should leave that group. It makes no sense. When it comes to Garcia, he's not over. The crowd does not give two shits about this guy. He needs Jericho more than Jericho needs him. So why is he leaving? See, it's freaking Sammy G that does not need Jericho. That's the guy who should leave. At least he has some kind of name value, and he has a connection with that audience. But Garcia, dog, he ain't no star, bro. What is going on here? What's up with Tony Khan and these? It's really making me pissed off. The fact that it's like his idea of a superstar wrestler is Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Useless. That's his idea of what a star looks like. See, that's the difference between Triple H and Tony Khan. When it comes to Triple H, his idea of what a star looks like is Karrion Kross, Drew Mack, Roman, freaking Bobby Lashley, Orton, Theory. That is his idea of what a star looks like, Braun Breaker. But when it comes to Tony Khan, his idea of what a star looks like is Daniel Garcia. See, man, like there's levels to this, man. This is why, look, ever since that the CM Punk press conference, these shows have been bad, right? Look, AEW has been bad ever since all those guys got suspended. He hasn't been booking not one good show since then. It's like I'm seeing Wheeler Useless in a freaking main event. I'm seeing Bandito in the main event. I'm seeing main events that a casual will just turn a channel and just watch baseball. I'm seeing main events that a casual will say, you know what? Let me watch, I don't know, tennis or something. Let me watch freaking NASCAR. Like, but when it comes to when it comes to the overall landscape of Jericho's run right now, it's off. It's bad. Look, just because the audience sings his theme song, that does not mean he's over. Look, he is a bad heel. And I never thought I would say that. Jericho is a bad heel. He wants to have it both ways, right? He wants to be like The Rock, right? Where when The Rock was a heel, yeah, he was a great heel, but at the same time, the crowd didn't really boo him. They were still cheering him. Jericho, he wants that. He wants the best of both worlds, but bro, you ain't The Rock. What you are doing is not good when it comes to a quality standpoint. And it seems like every week he is copywriting new nicknames. Bruh, I'm starting to lose track of all the nicknames he has given himself. The Wizard, this, that, the influencer. Like, bro, enough. See, people always give Jericho credit, right, for always reinventing himself. But bruh, it gets to a point where, see, what you are doing is called quantity over quality. See, that's called quantity. You are just over flooding the wrestling world with numerous nicknames for yourself that we have to remember. Like, dog, I'm losing track of all his nicknames. the pain maker, this and that. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? Stick with a nickname. Try to get it over. Once it gets over, stick with it. What he's doing, this ain't like, look, his mindset is like, okay, this ain't work. Okay, let me try this. But it's like, nah, bro, stick with one name. Try to get it over. What are you doing? Dog, he has a new nickname now, but I forgot it. Whose fault is that? That's his fault. It's like, bro, don't overflow the world with tons of nicknames. That is a high egomaniac. You can't keep naming yourself all these nicknames. Like, what are you doing? That makes zero sense. So that's why this is one of the worst runs of his career. It's like, it gets to a point where he has too much freedom, right? See, people leave Vince because they want freedom. But all these guys who have left Vince to go to AEW so they can have creative freedom, it's like they have been exposed as guys who are not creative after all. Jericho has been exposed as a guy that's really not creative at all. See, you have to have a sheriff. Vince was a sheriff. He told you right from wrong for a reason. He wanted to protect you from yourself, protect your bad ideas from the audience. That's what Vince did. But Jericho didn't realize it. The fact that Jericho was pissed off that him and Kevin Owens didn't main event freaking WrestleMania, I'm like, bruh, that was a good thing. What the hell? Jericho, on what planet Earth? Maybe, like, bruh, maybe Mars, but not God's green Earth. Jericho and KO will never main event a WrestleMania. Why would you get pissed off because of that? See what I'm saying? That's bad. That's bad creative. So now he's showing off his bad creative in a new company. In fact, I feel like what's the they call? I think they would call it the Circle, the Inner Circle, or something like that. That was a better group than this current group. Damn, man, I forgot what they were called. Were they called a Perfect Circle? Something like that. But that was a way better group than this group. This group, dog, it is a clown group. That's what it is. It's a clown group, man. It's like these guys wouldn't get over on Raw. This group over on SmackDown. And people always say, this group is something you would see on Raw or SmackDown. Like, nah, bro, not this goofy. This group is goofy. It's like, there's no way Vince will co-sign this group. Triple H will never put this group on Raw or SmackDown. At the very least, this group feels very, very, very NXT-ish. Okay? This group would be on NXT, not the main roster. But Jericho thinks he's doing good shit, and that's the problem. This dude is an egomaniac. Like, dude, I love Jericho too. I love me some Chris Jericho. Look, Chris Jericho is my favorite small wrestler of all time, next to Brian Pillman and Dominic's stepfather, Rey Mysterio. But overall, man, this run with the Jericho Society, man, look, I'm telling you, I'm gonna say it again, I've lost track of all his nicknames. I mean, didn't he call himself the Demo God? It's like, bruh, you can't keep calling yourself all these nicknames. Just imagine if The Rock did this. Just imagine if Stone Cold did this. Or John Cena. You can't keep giving yourself multiple nicknames and saying you are reinventing yourself. No, you are not. You are just riding a wave of something that gets hot, and once it gets cold, you move on to something else. No, bro, you can't do that. That's not reinventing yourself. Not where I come from. That's not my definition. You are just riding a wave until it gets hot or until it gets cold. That's not being creative, because these nicknames don't last long. How come nobody ever picks up on this about all his pointless nicknames that he keeps on giving himself? Bruh, how about you earn some nicknames? Don't just name yourself something. How about you earn your nicknames? I mean, the Painmaker, etc. All these damn nicknames, bruh. But I'm done.